And good morning, everybody. It's Dan Latto speaking. Hope you're well today. So, in today's session, we're going to talk about the 4 contradictions that you need in your business. Business is weird, isn't it? Like, life is weird. And, we just have all these contradictions. You have to be, excited but mature, young but experienced. It's just full of contradictions. And in today's session, we're going to run through 4 contradictions, in fact. But I found that you need in business and in life and in relationships and the whole kit and caboodle. You just need these 4 contradictions. But it's knowing where the line is actually drawn on these, and that's really what we're going to talk about. So let's crack straight on. The first one's about velocity and patience. So velocity is like this idea behind the first person who gets to market, the first person who goes, oh, do you know what, I've got an idea. And then that afternoon, the website's created, the landing pages are created, the Facebook pages are created, there's a YouTube channel, there's 3 videos created, and then you start posting out to it almost immediately. Like, you can do that in an afternoon, and that's really what I mean by velocity. The person who can get first to market, the person that can create the stuff that needs to be created and just get it out there, let people see it. And the reason why you want to do something like that is because you might get sales that afternoon, and we've done this for clients. We've had it where, in fact, the best one ever that we did was a guy that was one of our property coaching clients, and he came on board, and literally that afternoon, the same afternoon, he got his first deal. And that's what we mean by velocity. Could it have been beginner's luck? More than likely. Does beginner's luck happen? Of course it bloody well does. And, we don't mind taking in a cheap, easy win. Cheap. We'll take the cheap wins. If we get a beginner's luck, then that's awesome. But getting velocity, getting speed of transaction, the speed of creation, getting it out there, getting onto your first phone calls, that's what we mean by velocity. What's the point on hanging around? Oh, do you know what? We'll just think about this another week or so. We just missed out on a week's worth of sales. We've missed out on a week's worth of stuff. We've had a property come empty on a Friday, and it's an absolute pigsty. And then we've gone in all weekend. Duff. New tenant moves in Monday. And is it hard work? Absolutely. But that's what we mean by velocity, because all the time that, say, a property is empty, we're losing money. Yet as soon as we rent that property out, the money comes in. It's like Ryanair keeping planes on the ground. They don't make money when a plane's on the ground. You've got to keep them in the air. And it's the same with your business. The velocity at which you move your business. Bill Gates wrote a book a number of years ago, about 20 years ago now, in fact, called Business at the Speed of Thought. And in that book, he was talking about... I actually got this book, by the way, at a free Microsoft event. Oh, how we lived in those days. We were living a dream. So we got this book, and the book's basically on about removing friction. Like, how can you go, okay, I've got an idea, and by that afternoon or the next day, I can't click with my left hand, by that afternoon or the next day, the idea is implemented, it's done, you've recruited a sales team. Like, how fast can you get going? And so this kind of hangs around the fail faster. So fail forward faster. The faster you can fail, the more you're going to learn what's not working. So then you can learn what does work, and then you can implement that. And so if you take 2 teams and one just keeps failing faster and faster and faster, and you get one who's looking for perfection, the one that's failing faster and faster and faster is going to get better results than the one that's looking for perfection. Generally, depends what it is, of course, and there's always one-offs where that doesn't occur. But generally, that's what's going to happen. And it's exactly the same in your business. And yet, contrary to that, velocity, oh, Dan, you need to have patience. Well, how long's patience last? Can I time it? Can I get a stopwatch? Is it 10 minutes? I can time that. 9:59, 9:58. How long's this patience thing last for? One thing I'm not very good at is patience, by the way. But patience is, it's fine. Be as velocitudinal as you can. I definitely made that word up. Be as fast as you like. But actual results, long-term results, consistent long-term results, they're going to take a bit longer, and that's where you need your patience. Sure, create the podcast, create the videos, create all this extra stuff, all the content that's going out, speak to as many people as you can, but you're going to have to be patient with that process to get those long-term results. And so it's a dichotomy. In business, you need to be velocity and fast and quick, first to market, and then you need to do that every day over a long period of time and have patience. And so, we know that it takes a while. Our digital marketing agency has been going, properly going a couple of years now. And that's going really well. And we have a lot of velocity every single day. We're coming up with new stuff and new ideas, and we're implementing them both for ourselves and for our clients, but also over a long-term period of time. We've got to have more patience. And I think this is one of the things that's really lacking, is people start a business today and in 10 days, I've not made any money, it doesn't work, and then they kind of slack it off. Well, that's not what being in business is about. You're not Zuckerberg. And if you are Zuckerberg, what the hell are you doing watching me? You need to get off your ass, get the stuff done as fast as you can, and then stick with that for the next 10 years. That whole overnight success thing is not an overnight success. It's going to take you 10 years to get anything. It's just the way that it goes. You have to keep plugging and keep plugging and keep plugging. So you need velocity of implementation along with the patience, patience of a saint, but the patience to do this over a long period of time, day in, day out. Next one then, one of the other contradictions in your business is you need to both invest plus cut back on your money and budget. So what does that mean? Well, you've got to invest in your business. One of the great things that we've got in our business, a couple of things we've got which are really cool in our business. One is we're scalable, okay? We can grow the business up or we can bring the business back down. We're very, very scalable. The next thing that we've got is repeat predictable income. And I would say if you can get a business that's got repeat and predictable income, you have the ability to scale and you've got the ability to go through the rough storms that you're going to have as a business. So, for example, if we lose a client, we've got all our other clients. Plus, not only have we got all our other clients, but we've got all our other clients signed into contracts that are going to last minimum 4 to 6 months. So we can actually predict the income 3 months from now. Sometimes we might lose 2 clients, as a decent proportion of income, but then we've got all this other stuff like websites and all this other one-off stuff, Facebook ads and so on, that we can actually create for people, which actually covers those gaps. But we've got repeatable, predictable, scalable income, and that's been very effective for us. Without that, our business would have folded for sure, because the business goes up and down like many businesses do. But we've invested that money back into our business. We invest it into, sometimes it's money, sometimes it's buying stuff, buying software. Sometimes it's using time to invest into our YouTube channel, into our podcast channel, into our live streams, into getting the designers to create all the stuff that you see around the screen here. So we invest time and energy and all of that kind of thing. But also from a financial point of view, you're supposed to budget. So how do you invest and budget at the same time? And it all comes down to having a spreadsheet. You can still invest. Investing is just another smart way of saying spend money, right? But there's an extra little bit to it. An investment should be something that brings a return on that money spent, or that time spent, or that energy spent. And sometimes the return isn't instantaneous. Sometimes it's 10 years from now. 10 years, Dan, I don't want to wait 10 years, and that's the problem. Right there, that's the problem. You don't want to wait 10 years. That's why 10 years ago, if you'd have done that 10 years ago, today you'd already be there. But you didn't want to do that 10 years ago, and today you don't want to do it today either. And so in 10 years' time, you probably won't want to do it then. You want the results now. And this is one of the problems. This is what investing is putting something in and getting a return back over a period of time. I believe that if you drink Starbucks, you should have Starbucks shares. If you've got an Apple iPhone, you should have some Apple shares. That's what I believe in. And the reason why people don't do that is to look at what the yield is at 3%, and they go, so I put £100 in, I get £3 a year. It's going to take me 30 odd years, missing the fact that the share prices are going up, because 3% of £100 versus 3% of £1,000 is a big difference. We kind of miss all that, right? But that's what budgeting is. You're putting money in today, or you're putting time and energy in today, and you're going to get something back in return. Now, you have to budget the amount of money that you're putting into something. You have to budget the amount of energy that's going to go into, say, your YouTube channel. If all you do is your YouTube channel, your business is going to fail. Obviously. You can be as marketing as you like, but unless you've got a conversion mechanism, and unless you can deliver the thing that you've actually sold, your business is going to fail. But you have to budget the amount of energy. So in a 24-hour period, I woke up this morning at 7 o'clock, 7:30, 7.5 hours out of today, gone. Never to be seen again, fast asleep, dreaming about whatever I was dreaming about. I was in a Die Hard movie last week, which is a bit weird. But 7.5 hours gone. How much energy now have I got up to what? I go up about 10, 10:30. How much energy and how much time? Where can I best put that time, energy, money that I've got today? Once it's gone, it's gone. I'm never going to get it back. And tomorrow I've got the same problem, the next day, the next day, and the next day. So this is where you budget. X amount of time goes here, X amount of time goes there, X amount of time goes here, this amount of energy goes here, this amount of energy goes there, this amount of cash flow goes here, this amount of cash flow goes there. That's why you should budget. So it sounds like it's a contradiction, but actually budgeting and investing is kind of two sides of the same coin. It's basically the same thing. But most people don't see it like that. And in fact, most people don't even allocate. Well, I've got this time for this and that time for that. Where's the allocation in your day? We call this time management, by the way. If you're doing budgeting for financial stuff, that's financial planning. That's forecasting. And most business owners don't, unfortunately, do that. And that's why in 10 years' time, they've not invested. They're not getting the returns on the investments that they made 10 years ago because they didn't make those investments in the first place. I know it sounds very contradictory. That's why we're doing it. Next one then. 4 contradictions you need in your business. One is keep your head down, lie low. And the other one is keep your head up and market. So it's like, where's the line on both of those? What does that even mean? So I'll give you an example. So when you first got an idea, you want to keep your head down a little bit. And one of the reasons why you want to keep your head down is that you're going to get everybody from your auntie, granny, your granny, your granddad, your friends, your husband, your wife, your kids, your co-workers, the people in business with you, then they'll go, that's not going to work. I know someone and they tried that and that didn't work. What makes you so special that you can do that when somebody... And you're going to get all this bullshit, right? And it's like, keep your head down. You don't need any of that. So keep your ideas to yourself until you're ready to market them. And then you go from like minus 100 to plus 1,000. Minus 1,000 to plus 10,000. Keep your ideas to yourself. Talk about them if you're going to talk about them with other people that will support you on that journey, who will provide questions and help you to think about what you've got and what the idea is a little bit more. And then when you're ready to release this, whatever this is, then you go absolutely to high hell with the marketing. Podcasts, videos, images, content, interviews, speaking on stage, leaflet drops, magazine advertising, newspaper advertising. I hate both of those, by the way, we don't do it. Facebook ads, Google ads, Facebook retargeting ads, the whole lot. And so you keep your head down, and then you explode onto the scene. And that's exactly what you need to be doing. Excuse me, with that. 1 second, let me just grab a quick drink. I'm still recovering from a chest infection, it seems. So you've got to find a way of creating this business, whatever this business is. And if you've got a new idea or a new plan or a new product, you've got to keep your head down right up until the point where the product or the service is ready to be launched. And then on launch, you go into it full on. Now, there's a hard launch, which is where you go full on, and then there's a soft launch. I actually prefer soft launches, where we just release it, and then we slowly ramp up our marketing. But usually it's because we've got income coming in from other sources and so on. Excuse me. So you've got to keep your head down whilst the thing's being developed, and you've got to protect yourself from other people's negative opinions. And people go, well, they're only words, but words, as we know, can be very painful to hear. They can be very hurtful as well. And hearing all this negativity, when I first went into property, I was age 26, and from the age of 20 to 26, I was always looking at buying my first place as a rental. I knew I was going to do it. And it took me 6 years of running the numbers. And the reason why it took me 6 years of running the numbers time after time after time is because I had so many people going, that's not going to work. No. And obviously, we look back now 23 years against our property investing portfolio. It's gone up in value. Rents have gone up. We now live next to the Med. We kind of won that argument, and they're probably still working in some shitty office somewhere. But having those opinions of what they think you shouldn't do, and it's not just one person, it's 5 people, it's 10 people, it's 20 people. Hell, it was everybody I bloody met. Everybody said, don't do that. Oh, no, you don't want to do that. Ooh. And then you listen to them. And eventually it erodes you down. That's why it took me 6 years. And if you've got a business idea and you're sharing this and you go, if you're doing chocolate teapots, obviously chocolate teapots are not going to work because as soon as you put the hot water in, it melts. But maybe that's the business plan. Maybe that's the jokey business plan. Like, can you sell chocolate teapots? Of course you can. Can you be a success at selling chocolate teapots? Of course you can. It's a jokey product, a novelty product. You can make a lot of money doing that. I'm pretty sure if you look on Amazon, someone's probably already doing it and making a lot of money doing that. But listening to other people will just put you off. If you look at Elon Musk is always a good example. The number of people like Warren Buffett said that Tesla would fail. Like years ago, he was at a table speaking to Warren and Warren said that Tesla would fail. If he'd have listened to that, I mean, where would we be without the electric car? We're not quite there yet. But if we're having this conversation in 10 years when we've got people on Mars and a Cybertruck driving around on Mars and everyone's in Tesla vehicles and we've got Tesla power walls on the wall from electric photovoltaic tiles on your roof. Like, this stuff is going to change. Imagine if someone said to him, "Oh, that's not going to work," and he went, "Yeah, shit, you're right. I better not do that. I'll go get a job as a programmer at Oracle or something." Like, the world would be completely different. And so we don't want you to be persuaded by other people's opinions, which is why you're supposed to keep your head down. But then once you've committed to that and you've got a product and a service, then you absolutely ramp up your marketing. Next one then is a really interesting one for me. So one of the contradictions that you're going to need in your business is you've got to be really aggressive, and at the same time you've got to be really passive. So what does that mean? So I'm going to use a basketball analogy here. If I'm aggressive playing basketball, and I'm a good basketball player, okay, and you should see me on the court, I talk so much smack. I get into so much trouble for talking shit to people on the basketball court, and I loved it. But what it would do is it would motivate, shall we say, the other team to go, "Who's that mouthy little wanker?" So that would motivate them to then shut me down, because I knew that being aggressive like that and them trying to shut me down would, over a period of time, make me a much better basketball player. But one of the things I actually learned was you can't be aggressive all the time. Sometimes you've got to be passive. Sometimes you've got to look like you're just sailing through life, walking up court, and nothing's going to happen. You're pointing at someone, go low, and then suddenly, you explode and you power to the basket, and I can't dunk it, but you're up there and you get hit and your hand won it, which means you score the basket and you get fouled at the same time. And so what happens is you've got this just meandering, nothing's really going to happen, and it's literally this smack of this, gonna get it done, right? And it's this balance between the two. And it actually took me quite some time, especially on a basketball court, to understand this. But it actually took me some time in business to understand this as well. So this is kind of down to the velocity patience thing that we talked about before. Velocity is where you can be aggressive, okay? So, okay, I'm going to create a YouTube channel. Have we got the graphics for the YouTube channel? No, we haven't. Okay, we're supposed to have them yesterday. Where are they? I need them. Let's get them today. Drop everything else. Let's get that done. Let's get it done because I need to go live. Let's do this, right? That's the aggressive level. I don't mean aggressive like aggressive. I mean aggressive towards moving towards your goal. That's what I mean. You can be too aggressive, of course. And I've definitely been guilty of that in the past in all sorts of different areas. Definitely on a basketball court. Someone said, one game I scored 48 points. One guy said, "Can we stop this kid from scoring?" I'm like, "Motherfucker, you couldn't stop me if you tried your fast." Something like that, anyway. And boy, I got into a lot of trouble. People, physically try to intimidate you. Which is hilarious on a basketball court, by the way, because you can intimidate them back with your game. But in a work environment, that's not really good. So you've got to be aggressive, but you've also got to be passive when giving things like feedback, and let other people see your assertiveness. Might be a better word for aggression today, actually. We should have changed that to assertive rather than passive. But aggression and assertiveness, I mean the same thing. I mean going out there and having your dream and going, "I'm going to do this," and people are trying to stop you, and it's like, no, I'm doing this. I'm doing it. I don't care what you say, mofo. I am going out there and I'm going to do it. And it's ride or die. We're going to make this happen. And so that's the aggressiveness that we're talking about. But at the same time, while you're out doing that and you're creating your YouTube and I've done this where I've worked throughout the night and I've forgotten to eat and I'm working and I'm so utterly engaged in the thing that I'm doing. That's the aggression. That's the assertiveness. And then you need the passiveness over a long period of time. Because if you wake up and you're aggressive every single day or assertive every single day, I just think you're going to burn out. I think it's really difficult to do. And so you need this level of passivity. I'm making up loads of words today, which is awesome. You need this level of passiveness that will allow you to stay the course over a longer period of time. And so it's this balance. And every day I find myself having to be assertive and passive, but at different times. And so what's the percentage of being aggressive or assertive versus being passive? And I would say maybe, 80-20 would be a good level of passive 80, 20 assertive or aggressive. Like, what level are you right now? Are you 1%? How assertive are you? Let me rephrase the question. How assertive were you yesterday? Like how much velocity did you incorporate into your day yesterday? Like, I was probably at 40% yesterday with my assertiveness and my aggressiveness about getting the things done that I need to get done. We've got a house refurb going on. There's some stuff that we were on target with and some stuff that we're behind with, some stuff that's been done in the wrong order, and it's like being aggressive or assertive to get that stuff in place so that when we wake up today we know what's going on. So if you're aggressive or assertive 80% of the time, first of all, I dread to think what you're like as a leader. I don't think that you'd be a great leader, but I don't think there's been any leader who's been 100% passive. Like, how does that even work? Like, do you think Elon Musk is passive in his business? Probably. I could never imagine Warren Buffett being aggressive, but do you think Warren's assertive? Hell yeah. Of course he's assertive. He might not look it because he's the Oracle of Omaha. He's just a little old man at 89 or however old he is, wandering around. But do you think that guy's assertive? Do you think he's as sharp as a knife? Of course he is. He's absolutely assertive. And so the level of assertiveness during your day, if you're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5%, I think if you increase that to 10 to 20%, you would begin to see much better results. And one of the other things that you can do here is that you need to let other people know that work for you. And if anyone who's working for me right now, they'll be like, oh shit, yeah, I see what he does now. You've got to let them know your assertiveness or aggressiveness is there, even though you might not use it during the day. And I'm not saying you lead by fear, but I'm saying that you let people know that you're assertive and you want things done a particular way. And if it's not done a particular way, they're going to hear about it. That way, they know to do things a certain way because that's how you like things being done. We call those standards. We call them standards in our business, standards in our health, standards in our relationships, standards as a leader. And again, if you do it in an aggressive way all the time, you're not going to get the best out of people. But if you put people under pressure, along with providing them with reinforcement, positive reinforcement, and it's this balance between the two, and it's for you to find out where the balance is for you. I'm quite an emotional guy. I can move to being assertive very quickly. You could call that aggression. You put me on a basketball court, motherfucker, I will kill the other people on that other team if that's what it takes to win the game. I'm so assertive in that game because I want to win. That's the whole point. I mean, I won't kill people, obviously, but I will, I will work as hard as I need to work in order to secure that victory. And we've done it. We've turned games around where we're 20 points down at the half and we've won by 10 points. We had one game where we're 12 points down with a minute and a half left. And I was coaching the team and I was player coach at the same time. We won that game by 3 points with a minute and a half left. I've seen it done. I know that you can get last minute wins by changing your level of passivity and your level of assertiveness by being more assertive. But there's a time and there's a place and there's switching it on and there's switching it off. And sometimes you can switch on your assertiveness and actually you're fairly passive inside. You don't have to be aggressive. You don't have to be assertive 24/7. It's not going to work for you. Trust me on this. It's just not going to work well. And so this is something for you to learn, where you've got to switch it on, you've got to switch it down, and you've got to get yourself into a position where you're respected in the marketplace, you're respected by your colleagues, you're respected on the basketball court. You might be a nice guy, but they also know that you can turn it around and score on them at any moment. Don't trust the fact that he's just calm on the basketball court, because he'll come and he'll score on you. And you can do that in business, and you should be doing that in business. You should be more assertive in your business with your staff, so they know what the standards are. And if they don't meet those standards, and when I say you retrain them to meet those standards, I mean it by being assertive. I mean it by calling them out. You did this and it's not good enough. We need to do this, this, and this, and then if you do that, then that will be good enough. So next time we're onto it, I'd like to see this changing the way that you perform that task. Can you do that for me? Yes or no? And hopefully they do it, and then you go, do you know what? We sat down, we saw some gaps, you got some feedback, and then you went out and you did it. You implemented all the feedback. I'm so proud of the results that you've got. And that's amazing. Well, so you mix this assertiveness with this passivity and with giving positive feedback and that kind of thing. So the people actually then want to work for you. And what you're doing is you're actually stretching the people that you're working with, and you're bringing them up to your level of standard. Because what happens is, when we talk about standards, everyone's got a different standard. And somebody who thinks they've got a high standard might have a high standard according to their belief system. But then oftentimes, when they come into my fold, my standards are up here. This is what I expect from you. And, well, I had this problem with my car, and I had this, and I had that. But I don't care about any of that. Well, this is where I need you to be without the excuses. And if you can't hack that, that's totally fine. It's not a problem. It's just that this is not the place for you. But if you can hack that, boy, your career is going to accelerate as fast as you like. And not just your career, but everything outside of that career. As you begin to raise those standards, that's going to get better as well. You're investing. You're, now you're on the inside. Now you're starting to learn about the investing and the way that you carry yourself, and to get these external results. But nothing to do with work or your career. As a leader, as a boss, as a business owner, that's what I think you should be doing. If I can get one of my team members and I can teach them about investing, and then they invest so well, they never have to work for me ever again, that is a real result in my book. Even if then it's a pain because now I have to go hire somebody else, that's an awesome thing. That's an amazing thing. And actually what happens is they actually stay with the job because they enjoy it so much, because they can see the rising standards. And that's where the assertiveness comes in. And mixing the assertive levels and the passive levels, that's where you're really going to get those results. So look, I did say some of this was going to be a little bit woo-woo. And it certainly is. But if you can carry that lot with you, your life is going to change for the better in so many ways. So look, that'll do us for today. Good 30 minutes there. I really enjoyed that one because it's kind of delving beneath the bonnet of kind of a mindset as to what it takes to be a champion and keep succeeding at that level. It's hard, and you need a certain level of assertiveness or aggressiveness. But if you're doing it all the time, it's just not going to work well for you. Anyway, that will do us for today. Hope you have yourself a wicked day. We'll speak to you tomorrow. My name's Dan Latto. Have a good one. Take care.